What's up, guys? In this video, I want to show you a pretty cool strategy that you can use to iterate your image ads up to $30,000 a day, like we've done it for this brand owner here, right? And so specifically what I'm going to talk about is the iteration process. And so I have a whole cheat sheet for this. I went through the whole thing in another separate video. It's on my channel. Essentially, what I actually want to do in this video is show you the actual applicable, like real life case study that you can do for image ads. And this was the actual image ad that I ended up finding on the ads library. So I just randomly put in some random filters. This is not my image ad, but I did some iterations on it, and I want to show you why I did what and when exactly need to make the iteration in the first place. And so first of all, before we even start iterating, this is what the cheat sheet says, right? We need to have a ROAS which is like lower than obviously like 3, right? And above 1.3. That's kind of like this range. If yours is above 3, then obviously just increase the budgets. You don't know what the weakest metric is. You don't know what to iterate on. If it's below 1.3, it's not worth iterating. And so if it's between, that's perfect. Obviously, once again, make sure that your CPM is also in range. And so then when we start iterating image ads, one thing which we look for is we look at what's weaker, the click-through rate or the conversion rate. And from here, I'm going to take over in the Canva document. So what you'll end up finding here sometimes is that, first of all, the CTR is weaker. Let's say your ad is converting super well. You run this pride focused with your logo in it, right? Super simple example. A lot of people running concepts like this, especially for more fashion style products. So a lot of times what ends up happening is people have super decent add to cart, so let's say 15% add to cart rates or whatever, and the conversion rate is like what, 4 or 5%, really high, but your CTR is like what, 1 to 2%. And so then what you know is, what you learn from that metric is you can give up a little bit of that conversion rate for a lot better CTR, meaning an iteration. And so you retest. And so one of the variations or iterations, and specifically what you would make, is something like this, which would, for example, be to get rid of this disqualifier. I'm going to talk about disqualifiers in a second, but I really want to break down why and what exactly that means. So essentially what we did here is we just like got rid of the logo, and already you're going to notice a drop in the conversion rate because there's no logo. It's less salesy, however, an increase in CTR. And oftentimes that trade-off makes sense. Now, let's say you retest and it's still too low, right? CTR is still too low. Conversion rate is still way too much, like, yeah, way too high, or way higher than the CTR. There's an imbalance between the two metrics. Once again, we make it less product focused. And so we have this, professional looking guy here, no logo, no disqualifier, nothing. It just focuses more on the actual guy and the actual person, kind of like an outcome focused thing. This is what, guys want to feel like when they wear this or whatever, right? And then we went from this one to this one. This one, I can guarantee you, this ad or this picture here, if you run them both at the same time, this will have a higher CTR, right? But I can also guarantee you this will have a lower conversion rate. And so what you need to understand is that oftentimes it makes more sense to test, and then based off of the metrics that you buy, retest, instead of making 100 million ads and running them all at once. Okay, so what you really need to understand from now on, and try to apply this actually in the stuff that you run, is it's better sometimes to cut out the creative test into smaller fractions and batches, launch more frequently, and learn more from your tests, because the metrics that you end up buying are going to be the fundamental like things that you look out for when you make the next batch of ads. And what most people don't tell you is 80% of your stuff that should go in the ad account is supposed to be an iteration concept anyways. The 80-20 rule basically means that 80% of the stuff that you launch are iterations, only 20% are new concepts, and that is how you maintain profitability at scale. So let's say you tested this ad, and I'm going to show you the other example, which would be, okay, you have a really high CTR, right, but no conversion rate. Okay, so really bad conversion rate. We need to iterate on the conversion rate. We need to get it better. Cool. So what would we do here? Well, basically what you would do is, for example, you could add an offer to it. So the only difference between this one right here, the original, and this one is there's a little slider. It looks like a slider going through it, like an announcement bar saying buy one, get one free. This one will, I guarantee, if you run this versus this one will have a worse CTR but a better conversion rate, 100%, right? Then let's keep scrolling. Let's say this is still not enough. Then we could add a price tag to it. Obviously a price reveal, a price drop, especially with a compare at price, right? It's unbelievable. So every single time that you have a price reveal in your ad, especially with image ads, it almost already turns into a very bottom of funnel ad, right? Because it focused a lot on the offer and the price, and it actually converts significantly better, because once they see this, there's literally nothing to be surprised about when they come to the store. But let's keep going a little bit more. So now we have social proof, right? We have Trustpilot badge, stars and whatever. And then now this is like, okay, well, people can trust us. People know the price. People know the offer. People know the brand. It's like a branded looking logo, whatever. whatever, product focused visual, there's nothing more, right? Well, we might think that. But now we have objection handling. So this is like the hardcore, most disqualifying, crazy concept ever that you can imagine. So think about this one, right? So this one here has 3 objection handles, right, that people might have. So we have sun, safe, style, we have look good, guaranteed, and then we have protect your eyes, okay? Including all the, social proof, we have the logo, we have the price tag, we have the offer, and we have the product focused visual. So compare this image now to this one on the top. This one will have the craziest CTR compared to the other, right? But absolutely no conversion rate compared to this one. Like if you run this ad and your offer is actually just like accurate, so the price is the same as this and the offer is the same as this, then every person that will click through, like a lot, you'll get like, almost 30-40% add to cart rates sometimes, and really high conversion rates in ads like this. The difficulty in ads like this is getting a really good CTR. The difficulty in ads like this is getting a really good conversion rate. The cool thing, what I want to also mention though, if you have an ad like this or like this, right, one thing that you can do is you can run them, you can basically have the disqualification process in the website funnel. So you basically channel a lot of attention, make them click first, and then when they're already on the store, you send them, for example, to an advertorial, to a listicle. Maybe it's like a product focused listicle. It says 10 reasons why people are switching to our brand. So what ends up happening is the people that actually switch to your brand, right, basically that aren't ready to buy yet from this, right, because it's obviously just a CTR, click farming ad, just curiosity clicks that you'll get from this. However, once you start sending them and warming them up and disqualifying a bunch of people on the funnel as well, and then you send them to a product page, that's once again a valid step. And so the cool thing is you can not only, right, iterate your ads and everything that you can iterate on your ad side of things, your ad account, but also on your funnel. And so be super creative and actually for now, and just what I want you guys to do is remember that you make your product a winner. You turn it into a winner by just retesting everything. We have the same thing here for video ads. Again, there's a completely separate video on that. So if you want to check that out, obviously just go on my channel and watch the other videos. But anyways, that was pretty much it. I want to say thank you so much for giving me your most important asset, which is your attention. See you next time. I wish you a beautiful day.